Warning, the video that you're about to watch contains extremely valuable content, right? And also, by the way, if you watch this whole thing, you'll find me say a magic word or magic phrase. And if you comment that phrase, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a $100 discount code to my clothing brand, Poseidon's Workshop. So all you gotta do is watch the video, learn something new, and you could win free clothes. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Poseidon's podcast. I'm joined again by my good friend Kyle Russell. All right, it's a pleasure to have him back. I'm happy to be back here as well. Right off the bat, you know what to do. I know you don't know what to expect. You're gonna drop a comment, and make sure you subscribe. We plan on doing a bunch more of these podcasts in the future, and just hope to bring you as much value as possible through conversation, right? So I guess I'll start you off with a little update. Actually, if you watched our first podcast, I'll let you know that Poseidon's Workshop, the brand that you're watching this on, is my clothing brand, and we're dropping our first pair of sweatpants very soon. I was supposed to get the sample today, fun fact, but things happen, and so you can look forward to seeing our first pair of sweatpants. They're gonna be sick in the near future. It's obviously cold right now where we're from, New Jersey, New York, so get ready to bundle up in some really cool sweats. I'm super excited about that. But yeah, let's get right into this. Okay. One of the first topics right off the bat I wanted to kind of mention, you might not be a content creator, but you might be, you really might be. And if you're not, you should think about starting to create content. Funny enough, just random thought, I've seen a bunch of people that I would have never expected to make content start making content. I don't know if you've seen the same thing. Just even within our old friends and people we knew back in high school, I've seen a bunch of people try new things, and I respect it. I definitely respect it. But yeah, if you're a content creator like ourselves, you should definitely be repurposing your content. I cannot exaggerate that enough. You're being silly by not doing so, right? Just an example, what I've been doing is I've been uploading all my old TikToks as YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and TikToks, right? Those are the main 4 I'm killing right now. I've seen huge growth with YouTube Shorts specifically. Our first podcast, Kyle mentioned that we were at 250 subscribers. And funny enough, you mentioned that we would be at 200.
I said you'd be at 1,000 next time we do this.
Yeah, he said
1,400.
Yeah, dude. Yo, it was crazy. He said we'd be at 1,000 by the time it was uploaded, and sure enough, that was the fact. So it's crazy. What I've seen in less than 90 days of uploading on YouTube. Just growth. Beyond what I imagined would be possible. So yeah, just making sure you're putting content on all platforms, optimizing. Reaching the greatest audience you possibly can. I know, at least from my experience, if you post content on YouTube, you're getting a different audience than you would be if you posted on TikTok. Same way if you posted on Facebook Reels, that's a whole new set of eyeballs to come for what you're trying to sell. If it's your personal brand, business, eyeballs are going to help out in whatever way possible. So it's definitely beneficial to start doing that. I know Kyle as well. He's been uploading on Shorts and on Instagram Reels, and how do you feel about all that you've been doing?
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve, but I think all the businesses that I've run in the past, the more omni-channel you get, the more they have the potential to thrive. Because like you said, you're reaching new audiences that you would have otherwise not reached had you not been on those platforms. So a lot of people think TikTok is a kids dancing app, or YouTube is a place where it's for hippie vloggers. But in reality, everyone is everywhere. And if you're not everywhere, then you're not reaching everyone. And so you have to look at it from that lens and that perspective. So we've been doing it for our podcast, New Money Talks. And it's definitely been a learning curve because it's different between, a personal brand or a YouTube channel or whatever it might be relative to like an e-commerce brand, which is my area of expertise in terms of content acquisition. And so it's different when you have a content creator who's taking videos or images or whatever of your product versus you sitting down and really connecting with your audience base and things like that. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a learning curve figuring out, the audio, the right camera angles and styles and lighting. But once you get beyond all of that and you have your systems in place, then it's cool. It's not incredibly hard. It's just tedious. It's time consuming.
Extremely.
So anyone trying to do anything, trying to network with other people, trying to build a business, trying to like even build a portfolio or resume to work for another company, right? If you're an educator, for example, and you want to work for another education company or a school district that's going to pay you more, then document you being that, that kindergarten teacher, having an incredible experience and connection with your kids, and watch how far that helps you go, whether it's in that career or whether you're able to make just side income money or reach a new audience or connect with new people. There's literally zero downsides to it unless you're soft and you're impatient and you're like, oh, I don't like this 12-year-old who's commenting something negative,
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no downside if you have thick skin.
Right. If you're not experiencing some hate comments, you're honestly might
not going anywhere.
You're doing something wrong, to be honest, because you really you do, like, haters are just engagement. They're fans who haven't caught up yet, They just, and some people are like that. That's all right. You just have to understand that, there are people that might not want to see you succeed because of, interior motives. They might not believe in themselves, and I truly just wish the best for everyone, and that's how you have to handle, hate specifically, is just, battling it with love, right? You have to, attack it with, positivity. That brings them, that angers them some more, and if they comment some more, better for you, So it's one of those things that you have to just brush off and keep going, for sure. But yeah, I mean, again, just really quick, with the repurposing, right?
Sorry, this cuts.
Yeah, this cuts. Damn, wait. Where was I going with that? No, this cuts. No. Okay. Fuck. What am I going to say?
I could jump in.
Yeah, jump in. All right.
So, like, one thing that I've been doing to edit my different pieces of content, and so this is some sauce for you guys who want to get into the content creation space. Again, it's not as overwhelming as you think. Like, we got an iPhone camera, a regular camera, we got a ring light, like, all this gear, all this stuff, you really don't need any of it, right? You need a $20 ring light. You need your regular iPhone, which I know 90% of you statistically who are watching this, you have one. And so as long as you have an iPhone, you have some source of light, could be natural lighting. Then step one is just film the content. You might have no idea what you want to film. Figure out what you're passionate about. Figure out what other people are passionate about. Even if you aren't, but you want to kind of learn it and you want to be able to express your opinion on it and connect with people who are there. So you might not be rich, right? But you might want to be rich. And so you have to look up content and you have to look up ways to be rich and things of that nature. And you could just start to talk about that. You're doing a side hustle. You're documenting your journey, whatever it is, right? Doing those things, even if you might not be an expert in a field, it's just going to help you with your speaking. It's going to help you get comfortable in front of the camera. It's going to build more relationships, all these things. But again, step one, take out your camera. Just start talking. Figure out what it is that you want to talk about and try to kind of narrow it down to a niche, because that's how you're going to really connect with an audience base. Number two, figure out how you're going to edit that, right? You don't need any fancy Adobe Suite, all these different things, especially if you're just doing short form content in the beginning. You really just need, there's an app I use called InShot, completely free.
Yep.
I use that to trim a longer video down into a short one. So if I take, a 45-second video, but I want to clip it into a 10-second one, then I clip it down. Then I plug it into an app called the Captions app. So here's some sauce, because this will do everything for you. You might be paying an editor like $10 a video, and if you try to make 10 videos a month, and you're paying $100 a month, you can pay a one-time fee of like maybe $60, I think, for this app, and it'll automate the entire text creation process for an app, right? So between InShot and the Captions app, and just sitting down and taking 30 minutes out of your day to actually think about what content to put out, then you can produce some pretty awesome stuff, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a professional editor to do that.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I've done the same thing, right? You're seeing this as a podcast, and as we all know, people who go on podcasts, like their goal is to clip. Clips are what's taking over right now. If you scroll on TikTok, the majority of what you're seeing is most likely clips from podcasts, conversations, just anything from a little snippet of value that is getting your attention or just helping you out. I know my For You page on TikTok is, a lot of motivation, just things that I want to see because I'm trying to get to a certain point, so just, yeah, like you said, using, there's any niche, there's a niche for anything. People want to see what you're up to, what you're passionate about, because it's likely that whatever you're passionate about, someone else has that same passion. So you're helping them by creating that content. And I guess going into, content creation, I know, some people, myself included, and I'm sure Kyle as well, there are points where you get frustrated with lack of growth or, not seeing the results that you'd like to see. And I know specifically like in recent time, I've noticed that myself with TikTok, because, in our first podcast, we had mentioned or, conversed about journaling and consistency. And in that podcast, I was probably 25-ish days deep in journaling and mentioned my experience at that point. But at this point, what you're seeing, I'm 80 days deep in journaling and just, having daily tasks that I need to check off and make sure I get them checked off, because if I say I'm going to check them off and never actually do, then I'm not helping anybody, especially not myself. So, with that being said, going to frustration, I've been posting on TikTok for 80 days, 3 videos a day without failure. Like, I've been on my grind for sure. And, the numbers aren't where I'd like them to be, and it's just one of those things where you have to keep your head up and stay motivated. But when you don't feel like you're motivated, that's where discipline kicks in. When you lack motivation, you have to be disciplined enough to keep going. If you really want to achieve something bad, then you're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen, right? So you have to make sure you keep your head up. One thing that I kind of tell myself a lot is, if you're going through hell, just keep going, right? If you're going through the worst time in your life, you're pretty down bad, right? And I've been there. We've all been there. But why not keep going? If you're already going through it, keep pushing. The light is at the other side of the tunnel for sure. And it might be super hard to realize that and understand that that's a possibility. But the reality is it's there, and you just have to keep working. You have to keep working, keep your head down, and just keep pushing towards that greater good, right? So that's my experience with, being frustrated. It's tricky. It sucks realistically. But, it's also just made me feel more motivated, and it gets my mind going, right? I'm trying to be as innovative as possible with a clothing brand, because I know, at least from my experience, again, how many clothing brands do you know of? Someone might be crazy to even want to pursue a clothing brand at this point, but when you're passionate and you have an idea of what can be possible, you just have to keep pushing, and the results will come if you really, really work towards it. And I can guarantee you that in 2023, this, podcast, this brand will be in a significantly better place, a place where I probably can't even imagine. Just because I know how hard I'm going to go on all platforms and just in every aspect of life. So I know maybe you want to talk about some frustrations you've had with growing your own businesses for sure. And
a lot of them.
Yeah, specific.
Since we're talking so much about content, there's been a lot of periods outside of content, but I guess I'll focus a little bit more on that, because I've had a YouTube channel for, honestly, probably over 3 years now. Yeah. Which is crazy to say.
Shout it out.
It might even be 4 years. Okay. I'm trying to think actually, but it's ecommerce_Kyle. Well, that's my Instagram. My YouTube channel, you can look up Kyle Russell, 2 S's, 2 L's, e-commerce, and I'll rank, or you could just, look up e-commerce Kyle and I'll rank. I think my channel might have been switched to just Kyle Russell. But I think my first couple of videos I actually filmed when I was in college. Okay. And the last time I was in college was, I think, 4 years ago. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 years ago. So my first couple of videos I uploaded would have been 4 years ago, which is insane to think about. And in the first year, I think I maybe got up to 700, 800 subscribers. It took at least 2 years to get to 1,000. And then the third year, no
shorts back then, right?
No shorts, yep. No short form content. And then and this was all probably with I want to say maybe 30 or 40 videos. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. And so I after 2 years, I finally passed the 1,000 mark, and I think I got monetized around then as well. I had I maybe grew to 1,500 subscribers, and I finally got monetization. I was making $50 a month. So, bang. But then that year that I got a little bit more consistent with it, I uploaded maybe once a week or every other week for a couple of months straight. I think I grew from 1,000 to 5,000. And so it's you have to go through those periods of hell in order to figure out what's working, what isn't, test a lot of shit. And it snowballs. It's like the work that you do today, it might not show itself tomorrow, but it's probably going to show a little bit of itself in 90 days. Yep. And so imagine how much it's going to show in 900 days, right? Mm-hmm. So you just kind of have to stick it through. But yeah, that's 4 years in the making. I'm now finally getting back into it, and I'm expanding the content a little bit from just e-commerce to business in general, because, you know, I think there's so much more to e-commerce than just e-commerce. There's so many other business skills that you learn and that I'm able to share. But there's a lot more to it than just business. There's having, you know, the personal life balance, the work-life balance, and understanding, you know, how to build teams, how to create relationships, how to stick it through when you're in tough times within the businesses, things like that. So definitely gonna be branching out a little bit, but I'm getting back into that. I already have a video film that I had some technical issues that I got to refilm, but that's a whole story in of itself. But little things like that, you know, there's challenges. Yeah. No matter how successful the businesses I ran, how many failures I've experienced, you're always going to face challenges, and how you face those is going to determine where you get and how quickly you're going to be able to get there, right? Because the faster you fail, the faster you're going to be able to succeed.
Yeah. Failure is, you know, you learn from them. Obviously, we know this, and you know, you do have to go through them. You don't want to. Nobody does. Who wants to fail? It's not the best feeling, but you have to, you know, fail in order to see how strong mentally you are. Like how far can you go? How far are you willing to take this? You know, I'll ask you, you know, just a question, you know, like what was, you know, probably one of the moments where you felt that you were stuck, or, you know, you felt like, is this possible? Like, can you, maybe even with like drop shipping, I want to ask you, like, you know, were there any moments specifically that, like, you're like, damn, like maybe this isn't for me. Like, can I really do this?
Yeah. I mean, my whole first year was 12-hour days where I was spending money and I wasn't making money. Yeah. And that's like most businesses. Yeah. Definitely most businesses, but that can also be other areas, right? Like if you're going to the gym, you can go to the gym every single day for 90 days and not see an ounce of results, and you get discouraged, right? But you have to know that, you know, like I just said, you might not see it in 90 days, but you might see it in 180 days, 365 days. Yeah. It's the same thing in business, right? The first 6 to 8 months, I saw very, very little results. All I saw was my bank account balance going down. I didn't have much. I probably had like $8,000 saved from years, 5-10 years, shoveling snow, mowing grass, babysitting,
selling candy,
camp counseling, selling candy, like doing everything I possibly could, birthday money, this, that. Yeah. And all of that had saved up. I probably burned through a little over half of it before I like probably even got my first like couple of sales. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you know, I got maybe 2,000 left of that 8,000, and I finally turned a profitable product. And through that one product, after maybe 10, 20, 30 product tests, I figured out 80% of the game. I figured out 80% of what's required to build a business. Maybe not 80%, but I figured out like the most important 80%, right? Because I'd probably only knew 30% of what goes into building a business, but specifically an e-commerce business and the most important elements, I learned a majority of like even what I know now through that. And so I could have threw in the towel after 6 months and be like, this shit's not working. Yeah. But I knew I was, you know, the biggest thing is I was pulling 12-hour days, and I was absorbing content from people who were consistently killing it and showing the results and the screenshots and the screen recordings. So, you know, they weren't faked. And you're like, what is that kid doing that I can't? Right? Because I know I can outwork him. Mm-hmm. And if you can outwork them, and if you can acquire similar resources that they might have had getting started, because most people getting started in business, they don't have $100,000 handed to them, right? They maybe have $5,000. Definitely. If you can get your hands on $5,000, you can do what almost anyone in the world has accomplished, right? Even fucking Elon Musk, right? Like if you have $5,000, then you have enough to build a website. You have enough to film videos, to create promotional materials, and then raise money. Mm-hmm. You might not have the money. You might need a lot more, to do what it is that you want to do. But if you're passionate enough about it and you invest time and energy into it, you make a website, you try to get investors, then they might just be interested in what it is that you're building and help you out with it, But that all comes from, especially where, what I did building my businesses, that all came from periods of distress, periods of discomfort, periods where you didn't know whether you want to continue or not, and you just got to keep pushing through it and just knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, again, back to, being frustrated, part of my frustration personally in my content creation, journey, I guess, was realizing, and this is recent because, again, like I've been saying, I've been posting TikToks and, content all over all platforms, like I said before, but I've been posting TikToks for 80 days in a row, 3 at least minimum, right? And these are some are just for engagement, some of those, like those corny, low-key cringy videos that just get engagement, right? Because that's what you need at the end of the day, is engagement to bring eyeballs. Maybe it's not the best eyeballs, but those eyeballs bring good eyeballs, right? And you build an audience from there. But I've decided to kind of pivot a little bit, because like I said, while I do post those videos, I still post bangers, like super underrated. If you haven't checked out my TikTok, go check it out. It's in the description. But like, I'll post dope clips. I've one of the first video on this channel is me going into the city and giving out shirts to the skate community in New York. Sick video, super underrated. Just a vibe. The kids were dope. They were doing tricks, and I was like, yo, if you do a cool trick, I'll give you a free tee. Maybe it's been done before, but like we put a unique twist to it. The way it was filmed, edited, all that. Check that out. I've been posting those as TikToks. I went out and gave out note cards to strangers. Messages that really align with my brand and what I want to put out. I'm trying to be positive and put positivity out there, and just show how wearing Poseidon's workshop, you're putting something with a positive message on your chest, and being able to walk into the street. That means something, right? You have to be about, represent what you believe in, even outside, even when you're not thinking about it. People see that, even if it's not shouting at you through the shirt. It could be a design, but the deeper meaning is what's super important. And I've been posting that on TikTok too. But again, circling back to the point, I decided to pivot and just rebrand a little bit. On my TikTok account, I neglected speaking a lot. Like, a lot is just like trendy audios and kind of incorporating, ways to promote the brand that way. But I've been recently speaking and trying to provide as much value as I can, just so that you guys can get to know me on a deeper level. Something that is my goal on YouTube, at least for sure. I want you guys to know me. I have so many videos on the way, especially in the new year. Again, we're going to crush it in 2023. I'm so excited. But yeah, just knowing that you can pivot and rebrand, and it's okay. Again, part of it was maybe a failure. I had to adjust and figure something new, and that's what I'm doing now. So, that's something I've learned recently, which is super beneficial. But yeah, let's see. What else did we want to say? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, again, so I guess, continuing that even a little bit, going with frustration. There's a lot of competition. Like I said, I'm one of many clothing brands, and I'm trying to find innovative ways to stand out. And, there's going to be competition. There's going to be levels of opposition. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not even doing this for the money. The money's great. Obviously, everybody loves money. I'm down for the money. But, there's a deeper level to it. And I just do want to, create something that stands out and actually has meaning beyond, money. That's the goal. You just have to, if you really want it, you're not doing it for the money. If you're really passionate, you have to love what you do. And I do love what I do, and that's why I'm still doing it to this day. People might think I'm crazy for pushing on, but it's gonna be funny when that little business, is making more than some people do in a month, right? And again, that's just how confident I am and in the brand and what I plan to do. But I guess if you had anything else, you want to maybe mention about content creation or frustration, pivoting, if not, we can,
Yeah, in general, in terms of content creation, there was one thing I wanted to mention earlier in the conversation.
For sure.
You had mentioned that what your timeline and what your feed consists of.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important, because a lot of people, they have feeds that have controlled them instead of them controlling their feeds.
Yeah.
And I think a super, super, super important thing is to only give the light of day and to only interact with pieces of content that actually resonate with you and that are aligned with the same path that you're actually trying to take.
Bingo.
So if you are trying to hit fitness goals, stop interacting with girls shaking their asses.
Yeah.
Stop interacting with those fun little cooking videos of people who are making marshmallows. It's like, all right, those are all great, but that's not ultimately getting you closer where you want to be. Mm-hmm. That's not ultimately exposing you to things that are going to help you grow as a person. Unless, you're in the culinary industry and you're into all that. Like
them up. It's fun.
Just wait for it to stop.
That's funny.
It's good thing we got editors.
Yeah, editors exist. This might stay in, who knows, actually. But yeah,
all right, where was I?
Cooking, culinary.
So yeah, I mean, it's very, very important to what I call it is optimizing your feed. You're optimizing what you're exposed to. If you sit and you watch the news all day and the news is telling you it's feeding you a bunch of negative shit, then that's what you're going to be, right? You're going to be negative on many different outlooks of your, different areas of life, your business, your work, your relationships, whatever it might be. If you drown that shit out and you focus on only the things that are relevant to you and where you're headed, then that's going to reflect in the way that you're able to take that and then turn it into fuel in your life, whatever it might be, right? Just getting fitness tips is a hell of a lot better than just getting mindless trends, even if it's the cute little corn kid.
Hey, we need some corn in our lives, let's be real.
But yeah, I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice that I could give anyone is just only expose yourselves to the things that are actually benefiting you and try to stay away from the things that aren't. And it's very difficult on these short form based content platforms to I guess to only be exposed by a certain type of content, because that other content is always going to slip in, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like there's one concept, I forgot where I heard it from, but it's called your inner bitch, right? Okay. You're going to have that voice. I think it was, it probably something between David Goggins or something like that, but you have two voices in your head. One of them that says, let me wake up, let me get out of bed, let me go to the gym. The other one that says, oh, this bed is so warm and cozy. Let me just stay comfortable where I am. Yeah. And as much as you want to focus on your inner beast, not your inner bitch, and the one that's going to, be able to fuel what it is that you're doing, you have to lose my train of fucking thought. What was I saying?
Bitch, inner beast to tap in.
That's like a good title for a video.
I thought that existed. That's
inner
fire.
Bitch, inner beast.
Yeah.
So too many people, you have both voices. You have your inner bitch, your inner beast. You have whichever one is coming.
Hey, just interrupting this video to let you know that this video is sponsored by absolutely nobody. Okay, so that's why I took it upon myself to sponsor it by Poseidon's Workshop. Okay, so if you want a discount code to my clothing brand, it's actually super sick. You should definitely check it out. You can use code Poseidon in all capitals. That's POSEIDON for 15% off. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, let's get back to the video.
Okay.
Yep.
That's out of the way. So as we were rudely interrupted, I think this is my third time trying to explain this.
It is for sure.
You got two voices, your inner bitch and your inner beast. If you let your inner bitch outwin your inner beast, guess which one you're going to become? You're going to become a bitch. And so when you get all this content that's going to be trying to slip through the cracks, when you get the girls shaking their asses, when you get the funny trends, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun and you shouldn't try to have, an engaging and a diverse feed, but you have to interact with the ones that are going to help you grow and not the ones that are going to distract you from your mission and your purpose, right? So that's that is that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. And to kind of just tap into that a little bit more, you have to realize one thing, right? It's what you do when nobody's watching is that's what defines who you are. So that taps into that inner bitch, right? If nobody's watching you, you're in your house chilling, and say it's raining and you're supposed to go to the gym, you could just chill at home. It's raining, you don't want to go outside, no one's home, nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know you didn't go to the gym except you, right? It's what it defines you when you're like, nah, it's raining. I don't care. Like, I'm still going to go. What, I'm going to get a little wet? I'm still going to get a dope ass pump. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the gym and you're going to come back home as a winner. All right, not some loser. And if anything is being said about inner bitch being a loser, if that hurts your feelings, you have to fix yourself and your mindset immediately.
You're a bitch.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I'm sorry, but if that offends you, you have to you have to let that offend you, right? Get it back at us by actually doing something, and let this motivate you, the right way. I mean, it's not the best way to motivate, but at the same time, it's efficient and effective, because you might feel some type of way and you're triggered to go do something, and that's what I want you to do. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in because you can have you have the kind of two groups of people. One in your life that are, they're kind of telling you, hey, oh, you want to go try this? Yeah, sure. Like, go do it. And then if you don't actually do it, they're just going to say, oh, well, maybe at least you tried, but you can just do something else. And then there's going to be someone else who's constantly in your ear, up your ass, saying, did you get that shit done? I'm going to hold you accountable to doing that. And you need to surround yourself with people that are actually going to do that. And that aren't just like, oh, you're doing this right now and you want to do that. Like, oh yeah, you should go try. You should go take some classes. You should watch a couple of YouTube videos. And then you're going to have someone else that says, all right, but if you say you're going to do that, I'm going to hold you accountable to doing it. And if you don't do it and you don't give it your 100%, then I'm going to be on your ass about it. And you need, again, to surround yourself with more people that are like that. And again, part of that, you might not be able to do that in person. And that's why you have to surround yourself with the right content, with the right people, with the right online communities, things of that nature. And then maybe you might even meet them in person. But that's where we talk about the feeds, the timelines, all these things that are all influential to what you do. You have the one timeline that's kicking your ass, moving you forward, and the other one that's pulling you back and holding you back from your potential.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've seen, I've literally been over people's shoulder and just seeing people literally scroll instantly, not even watch the video. That's not helping you at all.
It's an auto response.
Yeah, legit. And that's also, if you're watching this video still, if you're hearing me right now in this point throughout the video, it's been 31 minutes. Shout out to you. You have an actual attention span. The thing with short content is fantastic. It gets you out there, it gets you an audience, it helps you with organic growth, all that. Great. It's super helpful, super dope. But it's also just killed the attention span of people, which is super unfortunate. I mean, obviously we have to compete to gain people's attention. And that's why, if you're still watching this, I would hope by now you've gained some value and you might take something that we've said and apply it to your daily life. But, shout out to you for actually, sitting through this and paying attention. Grab a meal. I hope you're eating. If you got Doritos, throw them out right now. Eat some chicken, eat some protein. No, but, and actually, speaking of that, let me just say, I did have a magic phrase in mind for this video. And I will say, if you're still watching this, I want you to comment down, drop your sweatpants already, all right? Or, Poseidon's Workshop is taking over 2023. Go with that. Poseidon's Workshop is taking over 2023. Comment that below, and you will be entered in a chance in a raffle to win $100, off on our order on our website, all right? So you have a free $100 discount. The winner gets that, and all you have to do is watch a video. That's all you have to do, and then you have a chance to win some free shirt, free pants, free anything you want. All right, so that's a little bit of that. I guess one other topic we wanted to discuss was, this new craze, or this new sensation taking over the world right now in Chat GPT. Run that back. Chat GPT. Okay. It's essentially artificial intelligence, and it's kind of works like Google, where you type a thought and it just spits out information that is exactly what you want it to hear, essentially. And maybe I didn't define that the best way, but I don't know if you could define that a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it's an artificial intelligence tool that, especially if you want dialogue, you want text, you want scenarios of certain things, it will create an optimal version of it based off all of the probably billions of data points that this software has collected somehow. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's kind of crazy because you think about all other platforms that do that exact same thing. Yeah. That's how you're getting the algorithmic timelines that are feeding you things that they think you're going to be interested in, or that they know you're interested in, mm-hmm. is through all these data points. So it's pretty cool. I actually typed in, there's a lot of use applications for it.
For sure. We can talk about that.
I typed in a couple of different things. One of them that's a little bit on the funnier side. I typed in how to pick up a girl at a bar.
Hey, okay.
And it gave a whole creative scenario, 3 or 4 sentences on how to creatively go and do that. That was kind of unique from, what you would normally hear from a random person. So right. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of different applications, business, personal. If you're writing an essay, you need inspiration, creative inspiration, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the main things I've seen so far is people, writing it in for, like he just said, school essays, literally any time. I mean, it works like Google, realistically. You can Google that and you'd find similar answers, but this could write you a full-on essay. I don't know. I've seen videos. Obviously, you can't trust everything you see on the internet, but I've seen videos of people saying that they've put it through, stuff like Turnitin, and it doesn't pick up as plagiarism. So if that's the case, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen another video where someone has a multiple choice answer for math, some level of math. They put it in. It literally explained exactly how you do it, how you solve it, and then gave you the answer. And they went to the answer key, and it was the correct answer.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
I didn't know it could do that.
Yeah, no, I saw that today, and I was like, whoa. I myself, he put the girl. I put like YouTube titles for like viral YouTube titles for a clothing brand on the rise. It gave me a bunch of feedback on that. And, so again, when you feel frustration, circling back again, if you feel frustrated, you feel, lack of inspiration, this is just another tool that can help you get inspired and give you ideas for free, like legit for free. Oh yeah, for free. I signed up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to make you pay for that stuff at some point, but for free at this moment. And I know it's still early stages, but yeah, you can gain a whole new level of inspiration just from, putting in any thought you have into it, which is pretty sick. And I think it's only bound to get bigger. I mean, it's nuts that that came out, Chat GPT, and also Lensa. You saw Lensa?
Yeah.
Lensa is like...
That's just like $10, right?
Yeah, you got to pay for that. It's the similar concept with artificial intelligence. You put in 10 photos, 20 photos max of, pretty much like selfies or photos taken of you. And then it spits out a bunch of images. I didn't personally try it. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I've seen trends on TikTok of people doing it.
It's pretty crazy though, yeah.
Yeah, artificial intelligence just coming out of nowhere with two bangers. I mean, it's pretty crazy what they have in store, especially coming into 2023. Who knows what's next with them? But yeah, a lot of potential with what that can do. And I mean, I've again just another example of what it can do. I saw someone pretty much put their resume and it gave them a cover letter. So if you're interested in, if you're looking for a job or, you don't want to spend 40 minutes writing your own cover letter, there you go, try it out. But yeah, no, it's wild. It's wild what they're doing with that and,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Where they can take that.
So it's also like more the reason to be accustomed to modern technology these days, because, like when we grew up, it's like when you're in school, they're teaching you how to do the math by hand. They're teaching you how to figure it all out, but you got this calculator that in life you have the calculators. And so if you're the dummy who's sitting and writing on a pen and pad and taking 15 minutes to solve something that you can solve in 30 seconds with technology, then it's because you haven't been accustomed to the technology that's readily available to you. Yep. If your chances are wherever you work, wherever you're going to work, it's going to require some form of technology. And so if you don't know how to use that, if you aren't up to date with the best practices, then it's either going to take you longer to do things, or you're not going to have the opportunity to do things more efficiently than you might currently be able to do it, right? Like whether it's like cooking, you can get an air fryer and cook maybe twice as fast as an oven.
Yep.
And there's a concept called death by 1,000 cuts where, 1,000 little tiny things that take you an extra 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. It adds up at the end of the day to a lot, and you want to close those gaps and be more efficient in everything you do. Technology is one of those things that can help you be more efficient.
Yeah, that's bars right there. No, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, dude, I think honestly, 38. A bunch of content.
Maybe 28 after some of the cuts.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's. What do you think? I think it's good for content. A lot of content creation talks. A lot of talks about frustration and kind of overcoming that. Talks about what's to come with artificial intelligence. I feel like, this probably will wrap up the second episode of Poseidon's podcast. Again, huge shout out to my boy Kyle for coming through and just, check him out on New Money Talks. I mean, we have this, actually we'll end it like this. We have this little friendly competition going where, we're trying, it's the road to monetization essentially. And, so if you don't know, what you need to do to be monetized is have, at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, for long form videos to be monetized. And, I've crossed that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and he's closer to, reaching that 4,000 hours of watch time with his podcast, New Money Talks. Again, if you haven't checked it out, it'll be in the description. But help us both out, all right? Help us both out. Send them over some love with subscribers, and make sure you're watching this video to kind of help me with the watch time. That'd be sick. But yeah, friendly competition is huge. Obviously I love this kid, and it's dope to kind of battle it out and see who kind of gets there first. I'm sure we honestly might get there at the same time, but whatever way it goes down, it's cool that we've pretty much started this YouTube venture on the same time, really same timing, which is pretty cool to see. So we kind of inspire each other to get back at it and grow as much as we can. But with that said, this is episode 2. If you watch the whole thing, you're a beast. You are the one that will be able to achieve whatever they want in their lives, because you have the attention span, you have the capabilities to do so. Make sure you like the video, smash that like button. All right, drop a comment. Again, that magic phrase I said, make sure you comment that, right? Poseidon's Workshop is taking over 2023. Make sure you comment that for a chance to win that $100, 100 buckaroonies. And subscribe, join the family. It's legit free. It does not cost any money, and you just get value from it, right? And on this side, we have podcasts, we have clips from the podcast, we have cool stuff where we give out free shirts, cool stuff where we give out notes, a lot of new stuff coming in 2023. Again, super excited. So just do all that, show some love, and we'll see you in the next one, right? Peace. Let's go. That's a Rizzy wrap. All right.
Solid.
Yeah, solid.
Yo, you got an at?